Hi, it's Tom here from FDS, and today I'm going to show you how you can build a classic JDM cruiser with motorsports pedigree for under £1,000. Now, people in the car scene are always complaining that JDM cars are expensive and that there's no way for the newer motorist or for somebody with less deep pockets to get themselves a JDM classic, especially something which has a bit of pedigree, and I don't believe that's true. I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. How can you get this cool for under £1,000? Well, let's find out. So, what is our mystery base vehicle? Well, the observant amongst you will have noticed this is an EP91 Toyota Starlet, and this one was made in 1997 in classic JDM white. It's a full granny spec Sportive, which is the base model. And there are two specs at this level. There's the Sportive and the CD, and the CD had amazing luxuries including a CD player. Now, what makes this vehicle have any kind of rally heritage or racing heritage, I ask you? Well, the Starlet is actually a very successful clubman rally car, and it has a performance variant called the Glanzer, which you may well be familiar with. So let's just take a walk round and I'll show you what we've got for our money. Now, it has a set of fabulous ugly steel wheels, which is the originals from the factory. It's done 74,000 miles. It's had a genuine two careful lady owners, and I've checked all the logbook. As you can see, it has all the original 90s granny spec interior, plenty of room for your tartan picnic blanket and your thermos, and the usual acres of plastic. But the most important thing about this vehicle is how good condition it is in. Underneath is absolutely spotless. All inside the arches. If we get down here, I'll just show you the factory spot welds in under here. Now, this is the lip of the arch, which is a very common place for rust on older vehicles. And you can see that this arch lip is spotless right the way down. And right here, the original factory spot welds, all indented, not even a bit of surface rust on those, which is very unusual. So I'm going to pop the bonnet and we'll have a look in there. So the Starlet is powered by the 4EFE engine, and they do the turbo version of this, has a forged crank, forged rods, and slightly stronger main bearings, which means that it can handle up to about 300 or 400 horsepower. This is obviously just the base model version, which has got cast crank and rods. However, Scat make forged crank and rods for this for not a lot of money. And you can see that actually the engine bay has lots of room. So one of the things that's amazing about this car is how much space there is. It's kind of like the contemporary Civics in that it's got transverse engine, and they often put these half rads in to make room. You can see there's lots of room here for turbo activities from the factory, and this one was really mint along the tops of the wings and in the scuttles, tops of the strut towers, even around the battery tray. There's not a spot of rust. So this was a really nice base vehicle, and I picked this up for £500 with an MOT, so it's all roadworthy, and we drove it home. And being a Toyota, it'll go on forever. You can see it's already got quite a good cold air system where it sucks from right at the front, and you can get a K&N insert for the standard air filter. Especially if you're a younger driver, that sort of stuff can rack up pretty quick. So there is our base vehicle, and so far all we've done to it is we serviced it, which cost us £60, including the oil, filters, and all the stuff for that. We changed all the usual service items, plugs, a lot. We got those from our local friendly auto parts store, and they did a great job on that, and they were able to get it all really easily. There's lots of parts available for these cars because there's a few of them around, and they're still cheap. I saw a couple of other examples with similar mileage for under £1,000. Many of them were in the £500 to £750 range, and the beauty of these is
there's some great Toyota Lego you can do with them. So if you look at what people do to them, there's a huge scene in Malaysia for these where they were exported, and obviously the Glanzers are very popular. But for the base model, there's still a lot you can do. They will take the engine from a Toyota Celica T-Sport 190, and that will give you 190, as the title says, brake horsepower, maybe a little more even, at the wheels, normally aspirated, which is huge power in a very light car like this. You can turbocharge the stock engine. Some say that they will take a little bit of boost before they let go, but like I say, you can get a forged crank and rod kit from Scat, rebuild the bottom end, drop in a turbo, and you can get 170 to 250 wheel horsepower without any other mods, and they will take turbocharging up to much higher levels than that. People reportedly have had 400 wheel out of a Glanzer turbo engine, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. So performance-wise, there's a lot you can do with these. There are coilovers available. The downsides are, at the rear you have a drum brake setup on this, but I have a hunch, and I think I can make the Toyota Yaris T-Sport rear discs fit this, because rear Glanzer discs are several £1000s if you can find them from a Glanzer braking person, and we didn't get them in the UK. They were never officially imported here, so all the Glanzers in the UK are all imports. Obviously with those, they're quite sought after, and when they get broken for parts, people who have them on the road tend to buy the parts, so they're expensive. But the plan for this is just to keep it simple for the time being. We're going to get a set of wheels on it, we're going to do some mods to the interior. We're going to put speakers in the parcel shelf because it's got the granny spec 2 little speakers in the dash so that we can have a bit of tunes in there. And then we've buffed it and we've fully valeted it inside so that we can show off all its 90s nuggety glory. It's already been nicknamed the Granny Magnet, and we're going to take it to shows. We're going to cruise with it, we're going to run it, and my son's going to learn to drive in it, and it's going to be his first JDM car. Now, wheel-wise, we've got a set of 5-spoke bore bits for this, and we bought those second-hand off Facebook Marketplace. The MX-5 is a direct swap for these. The wheel fitment between this and my MX-5 is the same, which is great. Yaris T-Sport wheels are a straight bolt-on. Some Corolla wheels are a straight bolt-on. It's a 4x100 with a 54.1 centre on them. If you've got ones with a larger centre, you can get spigot rings for these. The bore bits needed a set of spigot rings to hold them centrally, and then we bought studs. The stud kit for this was around £40 for extended wheel studs, and then I'll have to take the hubs off and press those in. I'll show you how to do that. It's not a hard job, and that gets you a really nice looking set of wheels. I'll just pop a little picture of what it looks like when we mock the alloys up. So here it is with the alloys mocked up. As you can see, it's a huge improvement in looks and also gives you a much wider track width, so better handling. And the ride height's not bad. So there's the plans. We'll show you as we put this together some of the things that we're doing, and hopefully you can see that it's totally possible to build a nice little JDM car but under £1,500. Right, we're in the shop right now, and this little happy fella here, he looks like a kind of funny cat face, is actually going to be the new parcel shelf. And we're going to do a quick stealth install on this. It's just an MDF shelf, and then I'm going to skim it with acoustic cloth. There's loads of how-to videos on that. This piece of wood cost me about £10, and you want nice thick MDF. Go look at those builds on how to do a parcel shelf if you want to know. And this was all just made up by me in the shop, and then I primed it ready to put spray glue on there and glue on the exterior covering. So that's the first job we're doing.